Howdy folks, it's Admiral Revan here, hope you're doing well. And today, my friends, we are in 11.1, which is the latest update for World of Warships, and we have a bit of discussion here to give you a bit of an insight in regarding to the most heated up topic that came out to me most recently. And I know I had put this video off for quite a while because I had been doing it on the side and then never really finished it. So now's the time to get you up to date. So we're talking about the Research Bureau for 2022, and most recently I was looking at a friend of mine video, Clyde Plays Live, who did his own video, and I have to say it's quite educational, quite inspirational, and well done Clyde Plays Live for your awesome video. And when I was thinking about my video, what I had done and looked at it, what I was been doing, and basically we shared this very similar, similarities and views about it all. So I'm going to tell you my own view as a content creator and as a person who has played World of Warships for nearly 7 years. And on top of that, I will tell you as honest and truthful as I can, because this is just my point of view of everything. So most recently, when I was looking at what World of Warships has been going through in terms of the dev blogs and everything, they're talking about the credit optimization, research bureau, new things that's been planned for it and everything like that for the next coming months and stuff like that. And I just said to myself, okay, so where this is going. So if you're not sure what research bureau is, basically research bureau is basically a different way of how to acquire warships. Okay, and there's some cool things about it all that they're probably not aware of. So let's just show you an example of what the warships you can acquire on the armory in the research bureau, and I'll explain the requirements for it and take it from there. So here is the research bureau in World of Warships. So basically you can get some cool featured ships, also camouflages, upgrades, as well as signals and stuff like that. If you're looking at the ships itself, you got the Slava, Gibraltar, Colbert, Druid, Siegfried, Vampire 2, Palomino, and Ohio. All of them are very decent warships. All of them have great benefits. All of them have different perks, a pro and a con behind everything. And at the same time that each of these warships in general that I'm seeing and showing to you right now, that they all have a benefit. Every single one of them has a benefit. Every single one of them has a bit of a deficit as well too. And it really comes down to you, the player, of choosing which class ship you would like to prefer to play on. Now, mind you, I have played on different of the ships in my own personal account, but I have a press account that I use for testing purposes, and honestly I can tell you very openly that all these ships are fantastic. Okay, they're all very good warships and I enjoy them all very, very much. I mean, like the Slava here reminds me of the Kremlin. The Ohio, on the other hand, well, bit of a different story with the Ohio. The Ohio reminds me of the Montana and the Georgia, and all with different reasons. Basically, the minus the speed boost and everything that it doesn't have from the Georgia, but the style of the guns, the style of the actual hull and everything like that, that's actually pretty nice. And just by looking at it, looks actually a pretty decent warship just for have fun with. Great for clan battles and everything. Colbert is a nice cruiser, a French cruiser that you love for speed, maneuverability, as well as a good way to harass other warships is pretty quickly at long range, especially battleships. And also the Druid is very good in maneuvering. Detectability is very nice, and also it's got some good unique gameplay style of this ship anyway. The other ship that I was looking at very, very closely was the Vampire 2 and the Palomino. Very good destroyers for both of them. They both have great, torpedo mechanics, as well as ways of, mucking around and, being repositioning himself, and at the same time that they're very fast and maneuverable. But wait, here's more. The Siegfried, that has got my eye on for quite a while, for some time, is a very nice German cruiser, and it's pretty good. I mean, like, it's a pretty much a very upgradable warship and fun to play with. It's got hydroacoustics, it's got, spotting aircraft, and it's actually got some decent, torpedo tubes, 6 kilometer range, which is a standard, and also it's got pretty decent solid armor. Then again, maybe not up against when a battleship hits it, because a battleship can take it out with pretty much a depth range strike if it's done correctly, which I did on my Republic. And the Republic is the French battleship Republic. To take out a Siegfried with a depth strike is pretty awesome all around. So what does this mean though? Okay, so how does Research Bureau works? How do I get it? How does it start? Well, my friends, in the short version I can tell you is that let's go off of the tech tree and I can explain and show you how. So in the tech tree, you need to have a minimum of 5 tech tree ships have reached at least level 10. Okay, so you need to have technically 5 tech tree ships at level 10. So if I were to change this filter like so here to level 10, tier 10 ships, well, as you can see, I'm gonna terribly sorry about that. We just had a phone call in the middle of recording. That's fun these days. So anyways, to cut the long story short, you need to have at least a minimum of 5 tier 10 tech tree ships. Okay, so you need 5 of them. So anything that's related to coal or steel warships is not considered as a tech tree ship. It is a standalone ship of its own item. Now, there are other ships in the game that you can obtain as well. There are free XP warships, like the Azuma, for example, or the Agir, and they are all standalone warships of their own right. So the question is now, where am I going with this? So basically, when you're doing Research Bureau, you have 5 tier 10 tech tree ships already unlocked, ready to go. So basically, you see that, notice that they have a 2 times ability to reset the line. Now, how it works is that basically anything that you have before tier 10 and going back to tier 1, in this line, for example, the shift line, I was looking at it very carefully, you can actually reset that line and actually get some money back for it. Now, if you click reset, it actually will show you that you get some credits back for the ships and stuff like that. And if you move your cursor over here on get the information for it, it actually shows you how much in-game credits you'll get back in return. In some ways, it's actually not bad if you're actually in a situation trying to make money back for yourself. But let me put this way, that there is a bit of a pro and a con behind this. Now, you can actually make a whole bunch of, Research Bureau points in terms of going your way through, getting 20,400 Research Bureau points, and they'll be added towards your current total. And pretty much it's, like all well and good. But the thing is that these ships to get them, the Research Bureau warships, do take time, they're expensive, and they're not can be done overnight, unless you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of doubloons in your port. Okay, so as you can see, I have at least, thereabouts, like 85,000 doubloons. Okay, so I got about 85,000 doubloons in my, account right now. And this is my normal account on World of Warships. So when I look at it, say for example, if I wanted to get 63,000 Research Bureau points on the Slava, it is expensive and time consuming to get that warship. Because you not have to just reset one line, but you have to reset multiple lines in order to get that warship. So technically, if I'm getting 20,000 plus in terms of Research Bureau, just by looking at it, I technically would have had to reset at least maybe 3 or 4 or maybe 5 tier 10 lines just to do the grind and work your way up. Now here's the real kicker and the guts behind this story. So basically, when you're doing a resetting of the tech tree line, let's just click reset for example. If you move your cursor here, when you hit a tier 5, you get 400 points on Research Bureau, and then because you're getting double the amount, it'll be 800. And then again, you'll be doing the same thing for tier 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, the total is about 20,400, which is pretty damn good. However, the trouble is the time and also how much resources you're going to spend. Now, this is really where it comes down to. Is it worth for the value for money? Now, let's just say if you're trying to do this in preparation for clan battles. In preparation for clan battles, the tech tree ships that you got already in the game and also the premium warships that you have now are well worth it. And honestly, there is an event going on right now in World of Warships that's only temporarily based, but you do see it from time to time, that they do something similar like this. It's called tier 10 ships, and you can actually get a bundle out of it. Now, here's the funny thing. It's called 5-power premium containers, for example. And this is actually pretty damn nice, because you can get an opportunity to either get a tier 10 warship of your choice in there, and basically it looks like you can get a Forrest Sherman, Moskva, Max Elman, which is a carrier, German skip bomber carrier, Napoli, which is the Italian cruiser I have, Hayate, which is a Japanese destroyer, Salem is an American cruiser, Maso is a French destroyer, Yoshino is a Japanese cruiser, Global Kerfus and Karbros. Well, Global Kerfus is obviously the battleship, and the Karbros is obviously the destroyer that has been removed from the tech tree line, and it is now, funnily enough, a premium ship you can get. So, what does this mean? Well, the chance of getting all those ships there down below, it is very, very possible. And just to acquire something out of it. And honestly, it's good, when you have events like this, but is it really worth it, in my opinion, for the tier 10, bundles like this? Maybe yes, maybe no. But at the same time, I can't comment on that because I'm a kind of guy that, just focus on free-to-play, and I had been playing free-to-play for World of Warships for some time. Now, honestly, when I whoops, I really want to get the benefits of what a premium account is, I end up whipping out my credit card and go like, bam, here you go, whip out about 2 years worth of premium time on my account, and then I realized that I kind of regretted how much money I spent on that that period of time when I could have waited in the Christmas sales. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty much the gist of it, and that story. And the thing is, when I look at the upgrades in Research Bureau, is it worthwhile gain for the upgrades? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, it's beneficial, but please don't. That the parts to get them can be expensive, and this is where I'm really, really careful of how I spend my in-game currency just to get that. If there are missions that you can obtain certain unique items, like for example, when there was certain unique items for the Montana, Yamato, and that, I would be hands over fist going yeah mate, I would be doing it, no worries. And I rather prefer doing the missions rather than resetting all my tech tree lines and doing it all over again. Don't get me wrong, I mean the one thing I like about resetting my tech tree lines is actually having fun, the experience of regrinding again and enjoying it. There's a lot of things I enjoy most about regrinding, and that is, have a group of friends and having fun, restarting from your German, say for example, your German battleship line all over again, and realize back in the days like, oh, look at this, back way when I was at tier 5, I was doing this, and it's like, oh, all that damage and everything like that. Well, that's all well and good. Now, the one thing about when you do reset your tech tree line is that I can tell you this much, that your commanders will be kept, the flags will be demounted, and also anything that you had in your inventory and your modules and stuff like that will be basically demounted free of charge. Now the commanders themselves will be sent to the reserve for you to put them back in, and no worries. But in that being said, I mean, like, what happens is that all your ships will become researchable again, and basically you have to grind your way up from tier 1 all the way to tier 10. Now, the thing is that not all the the one thing I think about the tier 1 is that you don't sell the tier 1, it's actually still kept in port, and it's still free. I'm just like looking at this and wondering, wow, I have actually sold my tier 1 German ship back in the day. It's free to get purchased back, so hey, it's okay. But look, you know, grinding from tier 1 to 5 is easy. Tier 6 and onwards is a little bit of a grind. But the thing is that it's worthwhile playing and having fun, especially doing operations. But is it well worth it? Yeah, I think so. But it's a bit of a breakdown in that retrospect. But yes, definitely, for sure. Now, is it worthwhile regrinding all your tech tree ships from 1 to 10 if you have reset every single one from when you have achieved that Research Bureau unleashed, unlock, and ticken ability? Well, to tell you the truth, just do one at a time. Don't do it all at once. It can be expensive, time consuming. Money, real life money in terms of doubloons, and also the cost to regrind and do the time, it can be really expensive. I would highly recommend, if you're doing clan battles or rank battles or even just randoms, accumulate as much free XP here as much as possible. To give you enough a fair idea that this is about like 85,000 doubloons of converting a lot of XP, and that's like over, if I'm reading correctly, that is over 2,126,950. That's a bucket load of free XP to be converted, and it's not cheap. So the biggest question that people ask me is that, you know, after resetting lines and everything, is it worthwhile doing it? If you're a patient kind of person and you're willing to take the time, enjoy the time, and have fun, and just enjoy getting back into the swing of it and take your time and gain the ships again, by all means do so. I would not encourage you if you're in a situation where that you know that it's too much time consuming involved, but there is also another thing I would like to point out is money. So even though this is a free-to-play game and you're here to enjoy yourselves and everything, take into consideration that it's probably good if you're working and you have the money for it to throw in the works to actually buy the free XP with your doubloons and actually get the ships that you wanted pretty much quickly and grind to tier 10, and then after that you start having fun again. Trouble is that I find with this game, like any others, is that you find yourself in a very difficult situation, and that is it worthwhile getting that ship? And honestly, I have had situations where a friend of mine told me that I have grinded my way through and get the ship that I really wanted to get, and ended up getting it, and now I hate it because I don't know how to play it. Well, you know, if Wargaming had introduced the idea of renting these warships, for example, just for argument's sake, it'll be pretty much a good idea all around for people to actually learn how to play them. Now, honestly, the Depression, when it first came out, I was a little disappointed when it first came out because I didn't know how much to play it. And now I have realized that after putting a 14-point commander in there and actually starting to learn how to play it more, it's actually very enjoyable. And the good thing is that even though I love my Curfist, I still have my Curfist still here available import right here. And you can actually swap your commanders now for premium warship, which is fantastic, by the way. So, the real question that I ask myself is this one, is that, is it really worth it? In terms of paying a gamble just to get a tier 10. Maybe one or two containers, yeah, sure, but I mean, like, don't go to ballistic overboard. Because like there's a good chance that you can get something out of it. Mind you though, I mean like I just find it, you know, pretty amusing just to see what the chances of the drops of the ships you can get. And honestly, it is actually a very brilliant pack. It's very nice. So here's all the ships you know that you can get from the firepower premium container. But the real question is, my friends, is it, well, worth it though? And the answer is, well, it is very hard to justify, isn't it? So, honestly, at the end of the day, when you're doing research bureau and these ships and everything of every kind, I would recommend get majority of the ships that you can get on coal, right? Because coal is very easy to obtain in the game. Coal resource is mostly obtainable from random battles, co-op, as well as ranked and operations, and even clan battles. The good thing about it all is that you can grind up as much coal resources as much as you can, and then eventually you get enough saved up for a nice ship. With that being said though, you can actually use the idea of that, you know, resource coupon if you want to get a certain particular expensive ship. However, I've been using that resource coupon mostly focused on steel warships, because steel is hard to earn in the game for water warships. I thought there will be easier ways to get steel, but I've been finding the answer to that otherwise. So that's just, you know, like the nutshell of it all. But yeah, my friends, I mean, like, if you got any questions or anything about that, definitely go check it out. One advice and tip that I had been told is that before you sell your warships in the research, before you're doing a research bureau, I'll show you a keen tip and hit a trick that I've learned from somebody. Basically, for example, if I was going to go to the Pretch in preparation to sell it, I'll go to equipment real quick, and then I basically go into my account name, inventory, which is on the top left, and then search for the module and then sell it. Once you have sold it, it will become available in the actual ship itself, and that means you have put yourself in the right position. But then again, I mean, like, I have been, you know, observing it very, very carefully in how they worked it out in terms of selling it. But I do notice that if you were to sell it outright, they do probably as a bundle anyway. So that's pretty much a hidden tip there, just in case. But hey, whatever works. But anyways, folks, Research Bureau, is it worth it in the end of the day? I think so. I really do. I really think so. But it really comes down to, are you willing to take your time with it and enjoy the grind again to come back up again? I reckon so. But don't fork out your money really, really quickly just to grind back to tier 10 in a hurry. Unless you're doing tier 10 clan battles. The way I see it about that is that if you're doing tier 10 clan battles right now, and which is happening less than a week away from now for me in a way, or for those who are just watching this video, I would just hold that idea off from doing a research bureau and wait until the clan season's over and done with. Once clan season's over and done with, then you can reset the line, do the time, and do the grind and have fun. I noticed that there's a good gap between certain events. Like for example, like this is the clan battle season, right? And then there's King of the Sea. In the between now and the King of the Sea event, you actually have a little bit of break in between, but it's all worthwhile in the end, you know. So it's a bit of a stepping stone in the right direction. But yeah, it's just one of those things that if you can do it, the grind and everything, by all means, do it. Now, moving forward though, just understand that, you know, like, if you're not really keen for those ships in the research bureau, this thing doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't mean anything for you because you don't need to worry about it. But if you want to do it for fun, just do one tech tree line, reset it, and then take your time with it. If you do want to reset that same line twice in a row, you'll only do the bonus of twice, 2 times first, and then the second time you reset it, it'll be basically once. And basically, I would recommend you just reset the lines one at a time, do the grind, do the time, get to tier 10 again, get it done, then do the next one afterwards. And then rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. As you can see here, I got a couple of ships here that I've been working on slowly towards the Hindenburg at tier 10. That has some bonus points there anyway. And it's pretty much a beautiful opportunity. But anyways, folks, I think we're going to call there. But yes, if you have any questions or anything, please take your time, review it at your own leisure, and feel free to drop in a comment, let me know how you feel, and then we'll take it from there. Until then, good wins and fair seas, captains. Have a good day.